Hey guys, welcome to our second video regarding writing equations for lines. And what we're doing in this video is using point slope form. So your learning target is I can use point slope form, which is y minus y1 equals m times the quantity x minus x1 of a linear equation to write an equation of a line. Now, point slope form is best suited for situations in which you are given a point on the line and the slope. And that hence the name, right? So if you know a point on a line and a slope, I would highly suggest starting with point slope form when writing the equation. The slope is still represented by the letter m, and the point on the line is represented by x1, y1. Now, even though we may start with point slope form, we always want our final equation to be in slope intercept form. And the reason for that, particularly for this class right now, is because we're going to be focusing on slope intercept form when we graph lines. You can graph from point slope form. It's just not something we are concentrating on. And if you're interested in that, you just let me know. Okay, now once we have the coordinates of a point and the slope, and we've substituted them into the equation, you can simply solve for y to obtain the equation in the slope-intercept form, okay? So basically, this is just like a different way of starting out the equation based on the information that's given to you, okay? Now, let's see. Example 2, write an equation in point-slope form given the information about each line. It does say write in point slope form, but remember, we are going to simplify it to be in slope intercept, okay? Alrighty, here we go. In letter A, I have m equals -3, and the point 3, -1 lies on the line. So what I'm given here is my m, and I'm also given my x1 and my y1. So remember that my point slope form is y minus y1 equals m times the quantity x minus x1. And I like to write this all out so I can exactly substitute in what I know. And what I know here is the y1. So y minus a -1, so let's put that in there, equals, I know my slope is -3, and that's times x minus, and my x value is 3. I wanted that to be green. Okay. Now, we basically have written point slope form, although we probably would not leave this as y minus a -1. That's going to change to y plus 1. And then what we want to do to move this into slope intercept form is we want to distribute this -3 into the parentheses. So that's going to give me -3x plus 9. And finally, remember, slope intercept form is solved for y, so we need to get rid of this plus 1. We're going to subtract 1, and that's going to be subtracted from the 9. And we get y equals -3x plus 8. So slope is still -3, and our y-intercept is 8. Okay, we're going to move to example C, which is a little different than A because it gives us 2 points instead of the slope and a point. So obviously we need to find the slope, but then we also will just pick one of the points that's given to us to use the point slope form. All right, slope formula, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Let's do it. So find slope. M equals, let me label these. I think that's helpful. x1, y1, x2, y2. So in my numerator, I do my y's. That's -7 minus a -1. And in my denominator, I do my x's, 6 minus 4. Remember, subtracting a negative changes to addition. So my numerator, -7 plus 1, is going to give me -6. My denominator, 6 minus 4, is 2, and woohoo, -6 divided by 2 is a -3. All right, for an integer slope. Okay, next, we now have the slope, and we have 2 points to choose from to do point slope form. It really does not matter which point you choose. I kind of go on how big the numbers are in the point, or if there's negatives, well, both of these have negatives, so I can't get rid of, steer clear of those. But the coordinates in this first point are smaller than the coordinates in the second point, so it just kind of minimizes my risk for making mental math errors. So I'm just going to choose the first point, and I'm going to plug it into point slope form, which I'm going to write in general right here. Remember, it's y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. All right, let's plug it in. So that is going to be y minus, my y coordinate is -1, equals my slope, -3, times x minus my x coordinate, 4. So I plugged into point slope form, and now I'm just going to do simplifying and get y by itself, so it's in slope intercept form. So again, I'm subtracting a negative. This is going to be y plus 1, and I'm going to distribute this -3, -3x plus 12, and last step, I'm going to subtract 1 from both sides, and I get y equals -3x plus 11. All right, guys, we're going to do the other 2 examples in class tomorrow. I hope you've enjoyed these videos, and I'll see you tomorrow.